a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you. I believe in me. Oh yeah, I believe that we can make this dream a reality. Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to be. Now's the time for miracles. Oh, it's in my heart so deep. 'Cause I believe.
Ah, yes, I believe in me, I believe in you, and I believe that we can make our dreams a reality. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. But it's not power if you do nothing with it. Today, so much going on in the city. I mean, the city is, I tell you, it's just red hot right now. And there's so many questions. There's so much anger. But we're going to talk about this today, and we certainly are looking forward to your input, your thoughts, not just your anger, but what are your thoughts? We know the messenger is definitely conflicted, but is the message right? But before we do that, let us bow our heads in prayer. If you're near your radio and you're at a stable place and not in your cars or at home or in your office or got your phone in your hands, let us just bow our heads and we come before you today, oh God. We love you so much and we thank you for peace, oh God, that we find in the midst of the storms, oh God. Storms that just seem to be not only squalls, oh God, but storms that are just hitting us from every angle. Oh God, give us the strength and give us the wisdom, oh God, to not only deal with our problems, but to also ask you to help us find solutions. We love you, Lord, and we thank you for life, and we thank you for our daily bread, and we thank you for the opportunity, oh God, to get up out of our beds, oh God, and start our days. Oh Lord, some people will not be getting up out of their beds. Some are bedridden, some are sick, oh Lord, some are elderly and a bit feeble with nobody to care for them, oh God. Oh Lord, we ask you right now to heal the loneliness, oh God, to bring families together, to heal us, oh God, in ways that are not only personal, but holistic, oh God, that we might learn to reach out to each other and find ways to love each other, oh God, because you have told us that we can love you with a whole mind, heart, body, and soul. But if we don't love our neighbors as we love ourselves, we are nothing. We are not honoring your great commandments. So we ask that you touch each and every one of us right now. Touch our children especially, oh God. Those that are lost, oh God. Every day we read that our children are disappearing and nobody ever hears from them again. Oh God, we hear about the children, oh Lord, that are being shot down, oh God, in the brain, oh God. This viciousness, this sickness, oh God, this malaise that is overtaking our city, oh God. We ask you right now, Lord, we know you won't do anything because you say faith without works is dead. Oh God, give us the works in our hearts and our minds. Let us begin with loving one another. That will change everything. Lord, we ask you to bless this station and bless our city, bless our mayor. Oh God, quicken his body, bless our police commissioner, but even touch this police department, oh God. Oh Lord, we rebuke the evil that dwells in that place. We even rebuke the evil and the misguided leadership of our city council sometimes, oh God. Oh Lord, our governor, oh God, who the throws bricks and hides his hands and act like he's for us, oh God, but then tries to put forth legislation that hurts us and can hurt us, oh God. Lord, did I leave out anybody? Did I remember to say thank you? Did I remember to wake up this morning and look and open my eyes and be thankful for another day? Lord, did any of us remember to do that? Help us to be more thoughtful of your presence in our lives. Not Christians, not Muslim, not anything, but just a human being on this face of the earth who all depend on one simple thing, the air that we breathe, that you provide for us. Help us, oh God. Lead us and guide us. Touch our hearts. For let, Lord, teach us to forgive as we are forgiven. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. God bless each and every one of you. They say, well, Patrick, why do you pray? Man, I tell you what, Bishop Blake at West Angeles Church used to say all the time. He said, prayer is spiritual therapy. And if we understand that, might not be no miracle coming your way through prayer, but you will find peace. And when you got peace, you can deal with anything. Meditation, prayer is very important because it's therapeutic. Because as a man thinketh, so is he or she. So let us be mindful. You ain't got to go to a church. You ain't got to believe in religion. But there is peace in silencing your mind and concentrating on something that's greater than you. Then you forget about yourselves. So for those of you who say, oh, Patrick, what are you doing there? Yeah, I tell you, this is who I am. This is the way I live my life. I am a worshiper. I don't just worship in church on Sundays, man. I worship everything. I worship this earth, the plants, the flowers, the trees, the waterways, the people. There is nothing that God didn't create on this earth. So how can you just worship in church? We never see it's got to be a spirit. It's got to be a mindfulness. It's got to be a thoughtfulness to find beauty in all that God has created. And if you live that way, I tell you, your lives will be different. You will be a worshiper of all that God has made, and he will be glorified, and you as a believer will be edified. Thank you. All right, I'm going to I get out the pulpit right now. I ain't no preacher home. So, I am just a voice. I'm just a voice. And I can only speak from experience. See, he that relates the non-experience is a propagandist, but he that relates the experience is a prophet. Yeah, witness, talk of God's goodness to you. And people might look at you cross-eyed. Well, what about the church? Well, we can't do nothing about the church. It's killing itself because of its refusal to love everybody. Exclusivity is killing it. Yes, it is. You can go around town. I played for a number of churches, more churches than I ever played for in my whole life since I lived here in Baltimore. And I'm meeting members who are telling me that they can't even afford a full-time pastor anymore. That the congregation is so old, the only thing they plan for these days are funerals. So the church has got to open up. We've got to be honest. I did a workshop in Tyson's Corner at a church organization, and I did this talk about the hymns in the church. There's a war about the music in the church. And I discovered there's the difference between young people and older people is older people revere the past. They hold those hymns so close to them because that's the music that was the soundtrack of their lives. So they revere them. They worship them in a way. But young people, if it ain't relative, they don't want to hear it. So it's a debate between what is relative and what is to be reviewed. And that is the big argument. And I tell you what, a man don't care how much, or a woman don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. God bless each and every one of you. We're happy to have you here today, each and every one of you. And I'm going to introduce my panel. First of all, James C. Morant, wherever you are, he's on vacation, so he won't be with us today. But we got Brother Richard Terry. Richard Terry, good morning. How are you? Richard? Let me see here. Richard? I'm not getting... Oh, hold on. That's because I haven't got the lines on. Richard, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hadn't stuck my finger in the wrong hole again.
No problem. Good morning, and good morning to all. Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Well, good morning.
Morning, everybody, and praise the Lord and pass the ammunition for justice, decency, and fair play.
That's what we're fitting to do up in here today. And I've invited and we all should be give him great appreciation. And I want you to lock him in for me. Let's go to Bubby. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm holding tight.
Well, we want you here. God bless you, and thank you for all that you do in our community. Paul, I see you there. We're going to be getting to the call, so if y'all want to get in on this conversation, we're going to start with the headlines from y'all's president, somebody's president, not my president, who said that Baltimore is a rat-infested city, and Elijah Cummings should jump off his high horse and do something about the city. I was listening to Larry Young's show this morning, and Coach and James did a poll of the callers that were coming in, and while everybody hated the messenger, the largest percentage, they didn't give it a percentage of them, but a large percentage of them agreed with what President Trump had said about the negligence that has been taking place for decades here in this city. I heard one man said he's got so many rats in his backyard that he can't even have a cookout in his backyard anymore because the rats are just running across their feet. He had to move his cookouts to his front yard. So people are complaining. People are saying that the city has been neglectful and that something needs to be done about it. Do you agree with them or don't you agree? 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010.
So, Patrick?
Yes?
My question is, if I might, is to ask, why did Donald Trump raise that issue? And he raised it, in my opinion, to divide and conquer. We know there are problems in Baltimore and every major urban center in this country. But we should not be in a panic whenever the devil raises an issue. He talked about infestation of rodents, and I contend that he's the chief white rat in the White House. I've said that before. The Norway rat that has infested this country came over here from Europe as an invasive species more than 100 years ago. And he needs to go back to his ancestral home, his father's home in Germany, or his mother's home in Scotland. That's where Donald Trump needs to go back to. I didn't say that the issue of our cities and their well-being and their lack of being taken care of should not be addressed. But let's understand why he raised the issue, to put us on the defensive, to have us fighting each other as opposed to focusing on his behinds, where we need to focus on his behinds for the overt racism that he espouses and preaches.
Okay, but Leo, with all due respect, sir, I have to somewhat disagree.
That's why we got talk radio. Go ahead.
We all know that 45 is a narcissistic sociopath.
Outstandingly so.
Let's start off with that. Let's start off with the fact that he did not talk about the entire city. If you listen to what the tweet said, he was focused in on Cummings and his district. Just the same way the next day he focused in on Pelosi and her district in San Francisco, which the evidence will say he's correct. You follow what I'm saying? It wasn't the entire city, but the rhetoric that you get from the Baltimore Sun and a lot of places put it out as he's attacking the entire city. No, what he is, if you've ever watched what he does, he is a counterpuncher. And what he did was he went after Cummings because of Cummings' statement after something he had when he went after the four ultra progressives in Congress, and then Cummings came out with a statement, and this is his way of attacking that.
He's counterattacking the people who are attacking him. I got that. I understand what Trump is doing. He's throwing punches at people who are the greatest threat, who pose the greatest threat to his regime.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I understand
So
that,
but he's not going after the entire city.
But the implications are that he is king, and the way he's doing it, and the way Biden attacks on Trump, Donald, is an independent candidacy that we should be about in Baltimore and everywhere else. It's not about the Democrats or the Republicans. It's about candidates who have a platform of reform that is needed urgently by the poor and the middle.
Yes, go.
A phone call from Dr. Ware, the pastor of the New Bethlehem Baptist Church. She wanted me to chaperone Senator Bernie Sanders around in Sandtown.
Oh,
Pastor Jamal Bryant, Dante Hickman, and the other, should I say, bougie Baptists, whatever they is, didn't want me because I have the propensity to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I stand on the side, on the periphery, and watch Secret Service and the pastor's bodyguards protect them as they drag this elderly man through the 14, 15, 1600 block of Curry Street up to North Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I tell you this, he made a statement, and I quote, "Parts of Baltimore looks like Sandtown, Winchester, a third world cup."
was more than
Hold on, let him finish. Go ahead.
There was no outrage from you bourgeois Negroes when he bourgeois Negro. Chayton, Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
Cockyville, Eldridge, Maryland is also in the 7th district, which Elijah Cummings represents. President Donald Trump was talking about 21217 zip code when he made them discouraging remarks.
And 21215, yes.
And I live in 21217. He said nothing wrong. He said nothing wrong. The black politicians that represent Zone 17 in the 7th District ought to be ashamed of that stuff. And you bourgeois Negroes that putting pictures of y'all houses and saying y'all don't deal with the rats and the rodents and the infestation. Let me tell you something. In 2015-16, I toured public housing, and it was rats bigger than cats. And none of you bourgeois Negroes did anything but support Paul P. Graziano and Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake. Let me get back to my point. Donald Trump didn't say nothing that the real leaders in Sandtown, Winchester, West Baltimore say all day. And I'll be on and wait for your question.
okay.
And so Donald Trump's plan for urban reform, his economic empowerment that he's going to bring to our city is what? Somebody needs to fill in that blank, because I want to know what Donald Trump has planned to renew our cities, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, wherever we are as black people and people of color. What is Donald Trump's plan to alleviate the pain and suffering, since he has become, in the minds of some blacks, the great liberator? What is he bringing to the table?
Okay, let me add this to Bubby's comment.
And can I comment after you, Richard? Go ahead.
He said, and I quote, "North Korea citizens live better than some people here."
Yes.
2, allegedly, that's why the new empowerment zone money is supposed to be doing. However, I'm watching something, and when he went after Pelosi, in San Francisco, right now, you have people earning $70,000 who are living in their cars. In San Francisco has gone through the roof, and I have a very nasty feeling this is what's headed our way. What they will do is watch the property values go up, As the property values go up, the property taxes go up. As the property taxes go up, people are going to be losing their homes, and those folks from New York will be coming here.
Yes, I'm sorry. Jason, let me introduce you. I'm sorry, Jason. Our co-anchor and our producer. Go ahead, Jason.
Good morning, family. Just want to remind everyone, too, that we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Periscope. He who lives in a glass house, shouldn't throw stones. Mm-hmm. And, looking at Trump's backyard, being a resident of New York City, and me being a former resident of New York City, is he kidding me about the rat issue? I mean, is he serious? I mean, if you look online, family, you'll see that just recently the rat sighting has rose by 80% in this decade, and a lot of it has to do to the warmer winters. Because we have warmer winters, they're spawning more offspring. So New York is filled with rats, and like Leo said, he's the biggest chief rat there is coming out of New York City. So he who lives in a glass house shouldn't be looking at throwing stones when he has his own issues within his own backyard.
But he doesn't acknowledge his, as many sociopaths don't. They only see your faults. Paul, what do you think about all this? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
First of all, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. Mm-hmm. I didn't vote for him, and I won't vote for him. I know he is a racist and all the other stuff, but we all call this radio show. I listen to your radio show every week.
Thank you.
Thank you. And a lot of the people that I hear comment and call, and we all complain about how our cities are being run.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear him.
I said, and we all complain about how our cities are being run.
Listen, are you on a speakerphone? If you are, well, come directly.
Wait a minute. Let me do something different.
Yeah, because we want everybody to hear what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, much better. Thank you.
Okay. I said, we all sit back. We call your station. A lot of people call. We complain about our school systems, how they run. Mm-hmm. We complain about the way our city looks, the police department. We complain about a lot of things. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, so I know he's a racist. He could have worded what he said a whole lot better. But I've been asking that question for a long time, just like a lot of the people that's on your panel right now. But ask the same question. Let me start out by saying this. Where's the money? There's money that goes into every city, every state, every year. There's money. There's money that comes from taxpayers. That money goes into these places. Where's the money for the school system? Here in Baltimore, it seems like everybody got a $200,000 job, and they make all this money. That's doing the job. It's like they don't care. Baltimore hit number, out of 10 cities, 10 cities with the most rats, Baltimore qualified for one of those. And Lexington Market is rat infested. I don't agree with how Donald Trump worded what he said, but I will say this. I listen to these shows every day. You bet, Brother Patrick, you and your panel. Brother Leo, I love you, man, because you do so much. All I'm saying is it's time for these officials to come out the woodwork and do what they're supposed to do. You campaign on it. Why can't, we got to hold them accountable for what they're supposed to do. I do not support Donald Trump, but I'm going to tell you something. It's time for these so-called leaders to do what they're supposed to do, and let's get this city turned around. They got people out here, Brother Patrick, that you all know, Brother Leo, you do so much for the community. I've learned so much from you guys. But when are we going to say, okay, the racist man, let's look at what he's talking about. Baltimore City is falling. I took my wife to the city. There was one house, there's 8 houses boarded up in a van, and one person living on the row house. Rats everywhere. We was riding past the alley. You can't get up, you can't even a bicycle.
We're losing.
This is an our community.
Yes, sir.
So Trump was wrong the way he worded it, but it's time for all of them to be held accountable by us, the ones that keep putting them in office.
Thank you, Theo. That's excellent.
And Patrick, I got to agree with him. $130 million was poured into Sandtown, Winchester, and the money just magically disappeared.
Yes, with no accountability.
So when is the mayor and city council going to be held accountable? The mayor has been in city council for 23 years, the last 9 years of which he was president of the city council. The mayor knows where the skeletons are buried. He knows about the inactions. He's in a power position to change things, but I don't see it changing with respect to the youth works and other programs that should make co-equal funding for youth programs around the year, around the clock, year-round, youth works and others, apprenticeship, job training program, etc. Come down hard on the mayor and city council for not being accountable, and the Democratic political machine and the legislative black caucus, the Democratic legislative black caucus primarily, for not doing what they should do. I agree with that. But why haven't
we heard you, Leo. We heard you, Leo. We heard you, Leo. We got you. Go ahead.
What he wants to do, gets reelected, and he doesn't say a damn thing about crime.
Richard,
Hey, Patrick, we have
hold on, Bubby. Go ahead.
change things.
What'd you say?
In 9 months, we can make those changes. If we have the intestinal fortitude, we do our homework, and candidates rise up that says, this is what I'm going to do to make things better.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we seem to have a problem just even coming together. Everybody wants to be the star, but nobody wants to fall in line and work with everybody. I've thought of this idea. I'm leading it. Like you're the only one with a thought, instead of saying, what can we do to make this work? We got too many dilettantes in this city as far as I'm concerned. Theo, your question or comment, sir? Welcome to Patrick Henderson. Meet the people.
Everybody.
Good morning.
Regardless of the messenger, I'm glad that this discussion is going on, because what I've been saying for years now, the most injured group in America or at the American border are the descendants of African slaves. And I think that a lot of the callers that I've heard this morning are saying what I think, that the outrage should be for people at the border, but there should be just as much outrage for the children in Baltimore that are hungry. Is there any outrage about the children in Baltimore that have to risk their lives to get money to eat? And secondly, I noticed that everybody that's talking about the beauty of Baltimore is talking about Johns Hopkins. And Mr. Henderson, do you agree that Johns Hopkins is good for the black folks in Baltimore? You tell me that when they go there, they disappear.
They do. It's historically documented, sir.
So they disregard the most injured groups, whether it's within the United States or at the border. That group that's been hurt the most are the descendants of African slaves.
We are, listen, I'm going to, hold on. I'm listening. Sir, listen to me. Sir, listen to you. I hear you, and I thank you for calling. I'm not even going to cut you off. But would you please understand that we have never been slaves. We were enslaved. Okay, so whenever you address us, please.
Those who were enslaved.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. But no, I'm just saying, let's get some outrage. Everybody ignores the African Americans.
Yes.
Johns Hopkins, that's the king of the world, yet you won't go to Johns Hopkins, would you, Mr. Henderson?
No, I won't, and not for reason.
As an African, not as a white person.
Not as any person.
And as not as a Hispanic, but as an African American, you're afraid you might disappear.
Yes.
Where's the outrage about that?
Well, I agree with you. And what's his name? Antonio Pertella. What's his name, Jason?
Antonio Piatella.
Has written about it. The ghost of John Hopkins.
Just one last thing, Mr. Henderson. Let's just equal outrage.
Let's just what?
Have equal outrage.
I wish it was possible, but you know what though?
Rightfully so.
Theo,
what about the kids in Baltimore?
I agree with you 100%, sir. I have an after-school program, and I tell you, I've been feeding them for the last 3 years, and I can't tell you how many of them want to know if they can take something home so they can share with their mother. So you're at your
opportunity for the congressman to say, listen, I'm bugged about the border, but there's circumstances in Baltimore that I want corrected.
Absolutely.
I want Trump to correct them.
Thank you, Theo, so much. You're listening to Hold On Everybody. 481-1010. We got a line open. Come on, y'all. Let's get on this. You're listening. Hold, no, you may not. We got to go to a commercial. You didn't hear me? Hold on. We'll come right back to you.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe.
Unto you as you believe. I'm done unto you as you believe.
It's
Welcome
done
back
unto
to
you
Patrick
as
Henderson's
you
Meet the
believe.
People. God bless each and every one of you. Tony, we're coming right to you. The lines are hot. Y'all listen in, 410-481-1010. Keep trying to get in because I definitely want to give the time to the people today. Tony, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, quick comment. First, I just want to, since we really I'm just wondering if the people of Baltimore, if they want to see crime go down, killing go down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, crime is going to, be whatever. But if you want to see murders go down, I think we have to focus on apprehensions of those that commit the murders. And I'm wondering why we don't say, hey, look, if you are not for utilizing the eye in the sky technology, track down killers from their house to the murder scene, and then wherever they go, then you're not getting our vote. Okay?
Interesting.
And people talk about this Fourth Amendment stuff. Hey, if you're in a public space, you don't have a right to privacy. So eye in the sky needs to be utilized. If the representatives don't want to use it and don't want to sign on, just like everyone signed on to say, hey, to all illegal immigrants, we need the people to sign on to say, hey, look, you use that eye in the sky and you get these people off the street and get them locked up so these murders can
go down. You think they actually will, Tony? Don't you? Have you taken into consideration children and these people that are doing mentally ill, that the lead poisoning? How about going from a medical standpoint? If they were white kids, like they did with heroin, when white kids started doing it, then it was a national emergency. But when black kids do it, it's deviant behavior.
Are you talking about the murders?
I know, I'm talking about everything that white folks do. But I don't think. But you're talking about apprehending the people that are doing this instead of finding out why they're doing it and trying to also treat that.
Murders apprehended because the reason, hey, if you're a killer, I don't even know why you're killing somebody. If you're killing,
I understand that, sir. But if you're not mentally balanced and there's lead eating away at your brain, don't you?
Everybody ain't mentally.
No, but 40% of 18 to 25-year-olds brought into central bookings has mental problems, lead poisoning, sir. That is documented. So how can we not look at that?
Even being undereducated is an issue because it means that you don't have developmental skill sets.
Exactly.
Well, if they're undereducated, well, that's on the parents.
That's true. It all starts at home. I agree with you 100%.
But it's also our failed school system as well. Unfortunately, we have to point the finger at the institution that's teaching our children.
Yeah, but
they're failing to educate.
But it also goes back to the family. It doesn't make sure their child is being represented.
But in some cases, you have in Baltimore City, you have generations.
Yes, sir.
Of those that have been miseducated.
Yes, you have. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, hey, Patrick.
Yes.
We talk about education when 99.9% of the Baltimore City public schools, the kids can't even drink out of the water fountain.
Starting there. Yes, sir.
But let me go back to this point that Mr. Trump made about rats. Do you know the Baltimore City Housing Authority is in partnership with DPW with a program called the Hill Campaign.
The Hill Campaign?
The Hill Campaign.
What is that?
You know, the director, either he resigned this week or he left last week, $300,000 is missing from the Hill Campaign.
What is the Hill Campaign?
The Hill Campaign is a collaboration between the DPW,
Department of Public Works, and the Housing Authority
to exterminate the development. Rats, bugs, mosquitoes, any kind of rodent. What I am telling you on your show to make Baltimore breaking news is the Baltimore Inspector General is listening. If she will go to 417 and ask Sean Buchanan for the records for the $300,000 that's supposed to go to the Hill Campaign, he cannot produce it.
So this is breaking news. You're telling me that this is the 300,000 is missing. The guy that was over the department resigned last week, and nobody's saying anything about this.
And nobody. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. They had an acting supervisor of the extermination department. They called him downtown and want to make him the superintendent to try to shut him up because they don't even have a license for extermination. They use the license of the employee of the housing authority that is the acting supervisor of the extermination department.
What?
Now, Jack Young get on the news, and I have tried to contact his office on multiple occasions. So I am left to bring this breaking news to your wonderful radio show. Now, when you talk to Miss Janet Abrams, the executive director, ask her to dispute what I'm saying.
Have we had any luck trying to get her on the show, Jason?
I'm still in communication with her. I'm still in communication with their office.
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
I just want to say, in response to your previous caller, he talked about apprehension of murderers, the clearance rate, which is still not anywhere near what it ought to be. How do we apprehend murderers?
Unless it's a celebrity. Unless it's a celebrity. Unless it's a celebrity. Am I right or wrong? Unless it's a celebrity. I'm sorry, Leo just changed the subject right quick. I would go ahead, Bubby.
Yes, sir. My whole inference into anyone when they talk about gentrification and they talk about the housing stock, if you look at public housing, if Mr. Trump really want to do something for the citizens of the Zone 17, he would audit the housing authority books. That's what he would do. Ask Jack Young to audit the housing authority books. You can shut me up easily. Prove that I'm not telling the truth, and I will bring my multiple witnesses with the emails that they received from the housing authority.
To document.
Let's be perfectly clear. I'm not getting caught up in the messenger. I'm getting caught up in the message. Now, we know the messenger is a flawed individual, but I know people in the 17 zone that agree with that. Why haven't our black elected leadership thought enough to
Who is
to us?
Who is your city council person? Who is your city? Is it Leon Pinkett? Who's your?
Let me break it down. Elijah Cummings is my representative. Antonio Hayes, Representative Nick Mosey, City Councilman Leon Pinkett. Let me tell you something. Leon Pinkett last week called me and gave me his personal cell phone number.
Okay. And you feel a little bit. You feel as though there might be an opening from that, or what are your feelings about that?
You know, some people say that I'm too hard on our black politicians. So I'm willing to talk, and if I'm wrong, I'm man enough to apologize. But I stand on my 2 dead sons. I have done nothing for them to be ashamed of other than to fight for my community of Sandtown and fight for my people.
Yes, and then we can document that absolutely here on this show. All right, Bubby, hold on. We're going to go to more lines. Eric, do you have a question or comment? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People.
Hey, I have a comment.
Come forward.
And before we start, man, that eye in the sky thing, a lot of those guys are representatives of Dr. Charles McNutt. They be on a radio station on Friday trying to promote that. You have privacy issues and civil rights issues with that. They kicked that program out of Ohio. So Baltimore people need to be mindful before they just go vote for something they don't know what's going on.
Hold on, Eric, did Ohio have the same sort of situation we have here in
They had the same. I've researched it myself personally. Ohio had the same situation out there.
Killings?
Where they trying to get this program all throughout the country. And Ohio got afraid of it being a privacy issue because they couldn't tell them what they was doing with all this data that they was collecting on everybody. They was collecting on everybody, and they could not tell them that it was going to be safe, that it was properly stored, put away, disposed of, whatever.
So it was a matter of that. You don't think that like the Bible says, the wicked fleeth when no man pursueth? Why would we be afraid if we're not doing anything? Why would we be concerned if we're abiding by the law? Why should we be concerned if it could be an instrument? I'm just asking you this question.
Right, because the black community has been surveilled throughout the ages. And that information has been used to harm our citizens, harm our community, harm our people. That's why, and it's not something so easy for us just to hand over our rights. I think it's other avenues, like y'all brothers just talking about, that need to be attacked, dealing with murderers, attempted murders, and everything else that's going on.
I tell you, I think I'm rare in that capacity. I don't hear many people talking about that these children are sick. So, I'm kind of stand alone there. But yes, go ahead.
Trump has he lit a fire. I don't support Democrat or Republican. But what Bubby talking about and what a few other callers are talking about, I mean, you just go to Sandtown, Winchester, some of the other black communities that's represented by him. I mean, have y'all seen what's going on on Twitter and everything else? I mean, people around the country is agreeing with him. We know he's racist. We know he's all that. But they are agreeing with him. And then y'all talk about the $130-something million that was appropriated to that area that mysteriously come up missing. I mean, our people do not want to be told the truth, regardless of the messenger. It is the truth in a lot of cases.
Yes, it is, sir. Thank you so much for your comments there. I agree with you 100%. And the truth shall set us free, but I tell you what, some people are so easily pacified. Gene, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
A comment. I just want to chime in. I'm glad Bubby's on the line because, Bubby, you said the word gentrification. And, that chimes in with housing. This morning on Larry's show, what's his name? Brandon Scott and the mayor called in, right? And that one of them said that they were in agreement and they want to put forward the Dollar House program.
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. We can hear it almost as loud as you.
Who, me?
Yes.
I don't have, my radio is off.
Bubby, is your radio up?
No, it's not.
Richard, whoever's radio is up, please turn it off. Go ahead, sir.
I don't have my radio on.
Okay, talked about the Dollar House program that he was in agreement. Tyrone Bowes' Dollar House program.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And Brandon Scott called in and said that he was in agreement with the Homes program. He was in agreement.
That's Tyrone Bowes' program.
Tyrone Bowes' program. So that means that what you're trying to do is buy some of this depressed housing, this boarded up housing, and put poor people in those houses. And so gentrification is bringing in, as Coach Butch McAdams says, is you're bringing in a different demographic, a demographic that is a more of the middle class and upper class who can afford $200,000 to $500,000 housing, which the poor people can't afford, and you bring them in, and that is the essence of gentrification. And so that's what Donald Trump is talking about. So the thing that Donald Trump is pushing, or the solution, is gentrification. It's all in housing. Bubby, you explained it so many times how much money gets lost in housing and money that's diverted. We don't know what happened to it.
Hundreds of millions.
And it's about gentrification. That's what's coming. The houses in Baltimore have been so depressed that now they're worth $1 or $50 or $200 or $2,000 or $30,000, and people can now come in. White people, basically, and upper middle class black people can come now and buy that depressed housing and take over the daggone city, and we're going to be displaced, like in San Francisco,
yes,
and like in Seattle, Washington,
yes.
And,
you on it, brother James.
and any other urban, Detroit, Michigan, and all those places. That's what happened. Gentrification
is happening as we speak. Yes,
as we speak, and that's what's going on, and that's what Donald Trump is talking about.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Gene.
You have some comments online, Patrick, by the way. So you have Mimi, your sister. She's writing. She's saying, what about the writing from this morning? Outside the White House, they have a large infestation of rats for the last 2 years. Never mind the fact that Mr. Trump's son-in-law is considered to be a slumlord in Baltimore, with low income housing. Brother Gary, by the way, said that no, sir. When Trump blasts a part of Baltimore, he blasts all of Baltimore. He said that he doesn't no longer live in Baltimore, but he takes offense when it comes to the comments coming from Trump, whether they're true or not. So, and just want to thank everybody joining us online. Your sister Stacia is online as well. Sister Irene, and many others are commenting online. So thank you for your comments, by the way.
Yes, we thank you.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes, Webby. Go ahead.
Do you know the Kushner Group is what Brother Jason has alluded to? They call it Kushner Group. The real estate holder, they own like Dutch Village and all the sled management property in Baltimore City. Do you know they get housing authority subsidies like $3.6 million a year?
Yeah. And matter of fact, that group Dutch Village was recently. There's a group called the Right for Housing.
There you go, bro. There you go.
They actually have been back and forth to rent court, trying to advocate for these residents because of the poor housing conditions, and constantly charging them overages and fees for everything from being just a couple of days late. Charging absorbent fees for being late, and then not actually following through with maintenance orders.
Wow. Yeah, but hold on. I got to get to all my line, but stay right there, Bubby. Don't you go nowhere. Okay. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. There's an open line, 410-481-1010. Uncle Fred, how are you? Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment? Come quickly. We're going to try to get everybody in today.
Oh, just a quick comment about the gentrification and the people trying to take over our city. There's only 47,000 vacant units in Baltimore City.
47,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, most of the property in Baltimore City is owner-occupied. I think 48% of the housing in Baltimore City is owner-occupied. 48%.
Okay.
So, what our community need to do, the black community need to do, is to pool our resources and buy up all the real estate that's vacant in our community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which is what they did down in Canton, Patterson Park. They instead of having community social clubs, they have community investment clubs. Stakeholders in the community, people who own real estate in the community, pool their resources, buy up all the vacant properties in your community, and you can control it. You can control the rent. You can control the way people treat it. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This is what other communities do. This is what we have to learn to do. Take our resources. Pool our resources, buy our own community. Blacks own a lot of real estate in Baltimore.
Yes, sir. But you know what, Bub? What about the absentee landlords? A lot of this property, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, that might have changed, but a lot of that property that was vacated and stuff was owned by people that no longer live here. And did the city confiscate that property? Do you know, brother, Uncle Fred? What happened to it?
So the city should confiscate it. But who has the say so is the community. If you take the community association, the property owners, and they go to the city and say, look, I have X, Y, Z with a property in my community that's downtrodden, belong to whoever, they live in California. We want to take this property and develop it.
So they do have the power.
The problem is, Patrick, unfortunately, that doesn't happen in Baltimore City. And what you have is you have folks that actually own hundreds of these properties within Baltimore City. Now, on their portfolio, they don't care when they're looking to borrow money whether or not these houses are developed or not. But on a portfolio, a property that sits in a community that's assessed at $50,000 or $60,000 is going to get that much in as far as a prospective look into a loan or investment money. Holdings. Correct. So
you're 100% right.
Correct. And so unfortunately, Bubby, just let me finish this. I'll let you chime in because there's something I wanted to point out. What happens is, unfortunately, the fines, they're willing to pay those fines for these properties for having violations, whether they're not boarded up properly, whether there may be bricks falling down. Right. They're minuscule as far as the fines are concerned compared to the amount of money that they're making on these properties in their portfolio.
Yes. Go ahead, Bubby.
Yes, a lot of times, Jason, 100% right. All you need to do, put an old stinky board up over the door, cut the grass, and whatever fine come, if you know that John Hopkins come to buying some houses and you got vacant houses. The city don't do eminent domain that John Hopkins asked for. The slum landlords hold the property and the property become, like he say, part of their portfolio. That's how it works in Baltimore.
That's how it works. Tyrone, I think this is that Tyrone Boast? Let me see on line 4. Tyrone, is that Tyrone Boast?
Hey, Patrick, no, that's just Thomas.
Oh, hi, Thomas, come forth.
Hey, listen, let me clear something up where I won't get you guys in trouble, okay?
You can get me in trouble.
The views and opinion I'm about to give is that of Thomas, not this station, not the Patrick Henderson Meet the People show. Okay, now that we clarify that, let's ask where the money at that was in Sandtown, okay? Let's go and ask Dante Hickman. Reverend Dante Hickman, where's the money, man? You guys remember when they were building, supposed to be the senior home over there? They got at the street. He turned around and sold that property, and then he no longer owns that property, but he made a hell of a.
Jason, hold on. I think that's probably Leo. Drop Leo and let's see. Leo, are you there? Drop Leo's.
Thank you.
Drop Leo and let's see, because he said he was only going to be here 45 minutes. Sorry about that. No, you dropped Richard. Richard, call back Leo.
I'm just putting him on hold. I didn't drop nobody.
That was Leo's line. Okay, let's go. Go ahead, Thomas. Oh, you dropped Thomas. Thomas, please call back. All right.
Okay, let me put something in here. Everybody keeps talking about Hopkins. Hopkins is the 800-pound state of Maryland. So that's why most of the politicians in the city and in the state are afraid of Hopkins. That's where the problem starts. Two, as you know, they have the biggest, and they have an endowment bigger than some third world countries. And that's what makes them even more powerful. That's where it all begins.
All right, family, we're going back to Brother Thomas. You there with us? I apologize about that.
No problem, sir. Let's ask Pastor Dante Hickman, where's that money from that project that they were putting money into. Let's also, guys, two of the biggest slumlords in this city right now. One is the Kushner Group, which Jared Kushner, who's special advisor to his father-in-law, still profiting, guys. That was against the law. He's not any entities in which he's prospering while he serves in the government like that to his dad on Bel Air. He's the guy that's on everybody's rights. I mean, you should everybody rights. When we heard that, guys, when they talk about supposed to be a friend, he ain't our friend. He's got to do that unintentionally. But these guys are making money. Day, guys.
Come forth.
Well, it's funny that you all talk about migration of rats. I haven't heard
Doc Cheatham. He's not today because they're doing work on the part monitors, and that he with him this morning, so he couldn't come in. No, he's not on.
I would love to hear what Doc had to say, because Doc was on the show Friday. He really let loose the senses, and he's not going to be on board with the senses of what's going on down here in the Sandtown, Madison, Henderson community. It's a lot of corruption and a lot of mismanagement going on. Now, that 7th district that we're talking about, that 7th district is so broad. I would always wonder how Elijah Cummings was winning, because the name Corrigan would always challenge him. But Elijah Cummings kept winning, but his district is so broad, I don't think his base was really coming from the city.
Interesting.
That's what the gerrymander.
Donald Trump said, say if funds, Elijah Cummings, they could forward those funds to the county part of the 7th district.
Like they did.
Don't have to end up being in the city part.
Like they did with the lottery. Come to Baltimore schools, ended up somehow finding its way into the county. Am I right or wrong? Hello.
I mean, you're right, but my thing with the 7th district is so broad. If we just talking about the Sandtown community down here in the 21217 area.
Well,
that's where the most poverty I see.
Yeah, that is.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
The second richest African American district
That's
in
right.
the country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Average income is $61,000.
That's right.
In that district. The second.
Now, Patrick.
Yeah.
The average income down here in Sandtown, the average income base down here is between $12,000 and $18,000.
Right. Below the poverty line.
And Sandtown, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That brother right.
So I'm just saying we gotta narrow this 7th district thing down to where the poverty is really occurring.
Yes, sir. We'll agree with you. We'll agree with. But tell me this, and I'm going to let you go. Do you feel as though there are the people that keep putting him back in office because what was the last year the 2018 votes? I think the 35% of the population elected the officers and all for that because the city, the African American community does not vote in large numbers. Do you think because it's the county that this is the way these people keep winning?
Patrick, with him and knowing how broad that district is, I'm trying to take Corrigan. If this guy would challenge him, man, he challenged him twice.
Yeah, but the only problem with Corrigan, and may he rest in peace, was he was a devout Republican, and people just didn't want to listen to him because we don't trust Republicans.
Maybe if he was a Democrat, but I just don't believe a lot of the coming votes came from the city. I just can't believe it.
I know. I agree with you. Thank you so much, sir, for your commentary. I agree with you 100%.
And you know he represents Howard County as well. There's parts of his district.
Yeah, that's
in
what.
Columbia.
Yeah,
because of the gerrymandering.
Right. Melvin, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Before you speak, we have an open line 410-481-1010. Call in. Let us hear what you're thinking, and please try to think of solutions. What do you think we got to do here? We can't just keep complaining. We got to find answers, and maybe it might be in your voice, in your mind, in your thought. There's something that we haven't thought of because this cannot continue to go on. Melvin, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
I have a comment.
Come forth.
Great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Most of the things that were said, well noted. We all from Baltimore know what Trump said is right. And you just asked, what can we do to change this? All morning long, I've heard everybody call in focusing on the negative, and nobody has yet to congratulate the young man from Sandtown, Winchester, that brought all of those people to this city this weekend, put on for the city, and no violence occurred, nothing happened.
You mean the fight? You talking about Devontae?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
All we could talk about is the negativity and never shine the light on the positivity.
But he did, and he did win. But you know what? Sometimes, man, I tell you what.
And the city as a whole won because there was no issue.
Right.
No issues.
Right.
But most of the people that call this radio station said that they would not go down there. So what makes them any different than Trump?
Well,
I was at the fight.
I didn't hear anybody say they wouldn't go. Who said that?
Most of the people that called this radio show said that they would not go.
You mean not my show? So you're talking about Larry's show? That was not my show.
Radio show, but this.
Okay, all right. I concur.
I was at the fight. Brother Bobby.
Right. Thank you. Well, what were you saying, Bobby?
I was at the fight. The kid went to school with my nephew and my son. I was at the fight.
Yes, but this gentleman is saying, why are we glorifying that there was a date and a large event where nothing happened? I understand, and I concur with him. But we're so overwhelmed of the message instead of the messenger, and we all know this guy is a scoundrel. But at the same, sir, we don't talk enough about the positive things here in Baltimore, and there are many. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial. We got an open line 410-481-1010. Get us up.
The new 1010W and Soul.
Old Optima.
Do you live in your own home? Need help paying property? The nonprofit Maryland Consumer Rights Coalition wants you to know the Maryland Tax Credit Program can help. Many homeowners get back more than $1,000 every year. Call 443-961-6220 or go to MarylandTaxCredit.com right now to see if you qualify. That's 661-6220 or MarylandTaxCredit.com to take the credit.
Are you close to losing your home to foreclosure? Do you constant threat your way? Or more frustrated with the system? Use it to your advantage. Often you can find bankruptcy protection and keep your home and other assets. And now the Foreclosure Assistance Center is here to help you and do it for less. They are offering a low fixed rate of just $500 a file for bankruptcy. So call them today at 410-415-3777. The attorneys at the Foreclosure Assistance Center experience in helping homeowners save their homes and stop the harassment from creditors. Take action now. It's far more expensive to get out of it the longer you wait. Do it now. Call 410-415-3777 or visit foreclosureassistancemd.com for a $500 bankruptcy. Get out of debt now. Stop the harassment and keep your property. Call 410-415-3777 today. That's 410-415-3777 or check out foreclosureassistancemd.com. People file bankruptcy under the bankruptcy code.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe.
Welcome back. We're good. The time is that was 3 minutes worth of commercials. I guess we must be doing pretty hot. There was some good commercials. I guess we must be reaching some people, and we're thankful to the station for all that they do with and for us here. I want to talk to Mark on line 4. Mark, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, and we do have an open line, 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. Please hit us up. James Moran, what happened? Did he drop? Or did we lose him?
No, I asked him to call the guest line.
Okay, we are great.
The phone lines are blowing up today.
Okay, very good. Go ahead, Mark. You have a question or comment?
Hey, excuse me. How y'all doing?
We're good. Hey, Mark Cannon?
Yeah, I'm glad you got Bobby there, man, because I was over at Broadway and North this morning at the building over there, that I talk about, hopefully to be rehab. And I was talking to an expert, and he said, call the mayor's office. It's on Robert Stokes' watch. Call the mayor's office and say that we want it inspected, and then that way that they can, and Bubby can elaborate on this. But I was over there this morning, and that's that's what we got to do, Pat. Mm-hmm. Like you say, we gotta stick together. I'm glad you got the panel because Leo different angles and y'all hit it from different angles. Our city leaders, man. Our city leaders haven't been spending the money, like they're supposed to be from the youth fund on that. And Bubby can hit that. He can hit that about that building over there at North and Broadway. Why they haven't rehabbed it yet.
Well, you know what, Mark, Bub is absolutely right. Now, he just did breaking news here on Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, stating that $300,000 is missing from the housing authority, and the person who was the head of the department just resigned last week. Did anybody read this in the news? Bubby, was it on the news? Was it in the paper?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all, because when attempts were made to call the Baltimore office of the Inspector General, the Inspector General gave the people who made the calls to a secretary and want them to leave their name. They didn't call me, and my independent investigation proved it to be true about the $300,000. And let me tell you, there's another coming investigation when a manager put her mother and her sister in a home. That manager was not terminated. They got a superintendent who paid a guy that was incarcerated. He was not locked up. They got another superintendent who paid an employee for 6 months while the employee was out on workman compensation. I got a call yesterday. They filed criminal charges on the employee for taking a vehicle home, charged them with unauthorized use of a vehicle.
But then while they're giving their families free housing and stealing money, but they charge a guy for taking a vehicle home immediately. Am I confused here? Help a brother out.
He did the emergency calls. He was a maintenance technician who they call all hours of night. The supervisor gave him permission to take the vehicle home, and then when he found out that the supervisor was throwing the manager, they transfer him, and then they bring these charges against him to shut him up.
Wow, that's just unbelievable.
What goes on there?
Mark, go ahead. Come quickly.
Yeah, and Pat, check this out. I keep telling them that the politicians are new day. We everywhere. Before you came on, Tyrone Bose.
Yes.
He just threw out the window what Jack Young said today about those empty houses, about people moved and all that. $700 million. He aired the actual hearing that they were in that Mary Pat Clark had them do about his housing program.
Dollar housing, yes.
$1 million they had to tear down those houses. Tyrone Bose disputed with Jack Young. You always try to blame stuff on the community. Y'all do y'all job. Community don't have no dissent decree. Community don't have no crooked gun trace task force. So it ain't us not telling. It's the police officer haven't been doing their job.
Thank you, Mark. Bobby, who is this? The solicitor, the person you were talking about, who you call, and when you call his office, he just gives you to a secretary. Who is that?
I think her name is Miss Cummins. She's the Inspector General for Baltimore City. Number 443-894-3300, something like that. The Inspector General is the person that investigates fraud complaints of city organizations. For some reason, for my tenure at Housing Authority, they had a guy by the name of Michael Pierre. They will not test the Housing Authority because they say the mayor will terminate them when they launch investigations on the Housing Authority.
Mayor Young, if your office is listening, we would like to know why that is.
I called his office and they told me they ain't going to do nothing.
They told you? A secretary told you? Who told you that?
Some soft-sounding boy. The one answered the phone when you call his office.
When you called to speak to the
Jack Young. I called looking for Jack, left my name, my number, everything. No one called me back from his office.
And how long ago was that? How long did you place the call? How long ago?
Say again?
How long ago was it that you placed that call?
Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and you have heard nothing.
2 weeks, but prior to that, I called at least 6 times.
All right, we're going to keep moving here. Y'all hear this. This is breaking news. $300,000 is missing from an operation that was supposed to go in and get the Hill campaign, it's called. And the person, extermination of pests, right? Rats and roaches and that kind of thing.
Rats, roaches, mosquitoes, yes indeed.
And that was to be eliminated from the housing projects in the city?
From all housing property. That scatter units, that public housing, that private scattered units is like houses.
And the money is missing.
The money is missing.
Again. D, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Hello?
D, yes, you're on the air. You have a question or comment, D?
Okay, yeah, I do have a comment.
All right, come forth.
You know, I just was listening to some of the comments that are being made today in regards to the statements that were made in regards to Elijah Cummings and the fact that the Baltimore City is filled with rats and infestations. Well, you know, I'm not going to say that Elijah Cummings hasn't done what he's supposed to do, because the president is the one who created this division, and he's really celebrating because we're sitting here splitting our hairs in regards to why he said, "Oh, now we got to clean up the city and all of this."
We've been saying this for years, though.
We were doing anyway. It shouldn't have nothing to do with what some president say who's racist, and every day he's saying something against people of color. We need to really not stop, vilifying this man. I mean, what we should say, nullifying his words and respect the congressman for who he is. I just think that this was only because he was doing his job, just like he called Michael Cohen a rat. I mean, he used that term in ways
so freely, yo.
what's in Baltimore City. He's using it because Elijah Cummings is investigating what he's doing.
This is a distraction, you're
Tell
saying.
the truth, shame the devil.
Not give this man credence. And I think it's unfair for people to now all of a sudden, he is nobody, he hasn't done anything. He's done something. And the thing is, those rats been here before he came, and they're going to be here after he came.
Wait a minute, hold on, D. Go ahead, Bubby. Bubby?
Ma'am, I don't know if you've been listening. For the last 15 years, I've been hollering about...
Go ahead, Bobby, because he speak...
Bubby, we can't hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
No, come closer to your phone. Are you on a speaker?
Yes, I am.
Come off a speaker, man. Come off the speaker. We can't hear you. She can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, Bobby.
Hello?
Yes.
I think what he was saying was for the past 15 years he's been talking about all of this, Patrick.
Yeah, I think so too, Richard. I agree with you 100%.
And if I listen to it, and with all due respect, D, they've been talking about every time...
I'm going to say something when you finish, Pat.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh.
D, call back. I was trying to drop Bubby. Bubby dropped his line.
Why are we hearing that? I don't know. You hearing that?
Somebody is listening to a radio.
So whoever's listening to a radio, please turn your radios off. We got you on the line. You don't need to listen to your voice there. Turn it off so everybody can get a good signal. Bubby, are you back on the air?
I'm back on the line.
Okay, now go ahead.
I mean, I don't want the lady to be confused. Nobody is attacking Elijah Cummings. What I am saying, for my entire 51-year existence in his district, I'll be 52 tomorrow. Elijah Cummings has been a no-show. We seen him on North Avenue doing a rock, and he got famous all walking the street with Captain Pugh. What I'm asking you, I went to him in 2015 with over 400 pieces of proof that housing was doing a conspiracy to terminate my employee. He's done nothing, ma'am. Is that enough?
Is that enough? All right. You got him locked in. No, you should lock.
No, hold on.
Lock Bubby.
Right, and then Sister D.
Sister D, she's back. All right. Sister D. Sister D, did you hear that? What he said?
Yeah.
Yes,
you know, let me say this, Patrick. I'm an avid radio listener, so I've heard Bobby speak on numerous occasions, and I feel it's unfair what has happened to him. I think he should have gotten. I don't know if he ever got his job back from the housing authority because he's the one who's keeping.
He got a better job, he said. He didn't get it back.
But I followed you, Bobby, and I agree with everything you're saying. But this, I'm not talking about the fact that you're continuing to bring us up to date on what's happening with the housing authority. I commend you for that. And I've heard you over the years when you spoke with, when you first had the incident. So you know I know, right? So I'm a person who do listen. But this here, the president, to me, is being prejudiced, and he's dividing us.
Yes.
We should not allow him to divide us with his racistness. He attacked this man because of the,
He said Bernie Sanders said the same thing a couple of years back.
And you know what the thing is? I don't even deal with Bernie because, I don't agree with him because he's not even a Democrat. He's an independent, and they did get on him about that. And you know what? During the Freddie Gray incident, that's when he said it, and a whole lot of others said it. And they did say something to Bernie, but Bernie don't even want to admit that he's a Democrat. And people following Bernie like he's, the best thing since sliced bread.
What about Martin?
I don't agree with Bernie Sanders.
All right, he's asking you about Martin O'Malley.
Oh, I don't agree with him either. I mean, all these people I don't agree with, but I don't agree. But I just feel like we should watch what's going on
and not be distracted.
Don't drop the ball at this time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
To this man and his prejudice.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you. Could you unlock D?
I don't want to lose the sight of what's going on here based on this man's. He was talking about him being a rat based on him being a snitch. He was really talking about it like that.
Why is she locked in, Jason? Can we unlock her? D, thank you so much, sweetheart. All right, no problem at all.
All right.
Okay, let me clear up that line. 410-481-1010, 410-481-1010. Hi, Key, we're coming to you next. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, 481-1010. We've got an open line, and we got 14 minutes to get your word in. I'm sorry, Diane. I'm sorry, Hi, Key. Please don't go anywhere. Diane, come quickly, sweetheart.
How you doing, Patrick?
I'm all right.
How you doing? I disagree with Ms. D. This is a teachable moment. People that have been living in the 7th District forever, when Elijah Cummings came to be elected for the 7th District, and then they widened the district under the last census 10 years ago, so it goes out to Howard County and the other counties. But it was, if you in Elijah Cummings, the majority of African Americans is in his district, and it says it on the census. It says majority, and the majority of them are either below the poverty line or up at the poverty line. So it's a teachable moment. It will make him gather with the people in his district and ask them what do they need from him. And also, that's not the congressperson, but also those 2 U.S. senators. I'm not leaving nobody out, Patrick. You know how I am. I'm not leaving anybody out. Each council person in those districts, each state senator and delegate, we all need a meeting with them at separate times, because there's different state senators and stuff, but we all in the 7th District, so we all need to meet with them and let the people bring their plan that they have for their community, because they know what they need in their community, and they could also stop this violence. He hasn't said anything about this violence that has gone out of control. We're almost reaching 300. It ain't even the end of the year, Patrick.
That's right. It's not. In fact, this is what coming into the 8th month of the year.
Yes.
So just 2/3 of it, and it's already at that level.
And they're saying that this pace will actually exceed last year's number.
And Patrick, if we don't answer these questions, it's about housing. We need more housing. We need everything in the 7th District. People have been living that's why people don't go vote, because they don't have hope. When there's no hope, you can't make people go out and vote, because they don't think people is doing anything.
Are listening for them. Thank you, Diane, so much, sweetheart. Your diligence is just so much appreciated. Hi, Keith, it's time. How are you? You have a question or comment, sir?
Good afternoon.
Thank you for holding.
Jason as well. Good afternoon. How you doing?
We're good.
Great. Well, I just left the press conference, which was at Grove Street. Sir?
Are you on a speakerphone?
Okay, go ahead. I'm good. All right. I apologize. So, no, I just left the
Could you turn him up?
That was had, and several Baltimore City leaders were present to address what's going on in our city, and I think that and one thing I must say, and Sister Diane just mentioned it, and you mentioned it, how we have several powers. We have the vote, we have our dollars, and, we can't, minimize. We can't have people on radio dumbing our people down and trying to sound ignorant, trying to sound like they more intelligent than someone else,
and telling them not to vote.
They don't show up for nothing, to discuss. And then when you challenge them like you do, Pat, to a debate, they run, but they want to fight. So, and this is what adults do. They debate issues. This is what mature, responsible leaders do. They have closed door meetings before they come out to face our adversaries. And so this is what we need today. We need leaders that's willing to listen to each other and work together for our collective good.
Thank you so much, sir. I agree with you 100%.
If I heard Brother Hakeem correctly, what I'm hearing is that the spin was put on before they came out and spoke to the public.
Uh-huh.
Am I correct in that
Are you aware
assessment?
Al Sharpton and them is here?
I heard it. He's here already?
Yeah, he actually was speaking this morning. I saw several live feeds on it. Yep. He's in town today.
We're supposed to be a bunch of community leaders.
The
NAACP guys and a bunch of black folk I ain't never seen before in the 7th District in my life.
In other words, the mayor had his hand in that. You can bet your bottom dollar.
Wow. Hold on. Go ahead. Let me get it. I'm trying to get all my calls. Hold on. Brian, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment? Come quickly.
Sir, how are you?
Very well.
Good show today, by the way.
Thank you.
I listen to your show and I listen to this station all the time. And every day, what Trump said, every day the same people complain about. They complain everything that he said. The callers to your show and Larry Young's show say every single day. So what's the problem with what he said? I understand he directed it at Elijah Cummings, but that is his district. Okay, and the only reason the median income, like the caller 2 callers ago, is a little bit higher is because they gerrymandered the district so it includes some of Howard County, so it'll boost up the income level. Okay, no one's stupid here. All right, right now, where's Elijah Cummings at right now during this little crisis? Elijah Cummings is in Milan, Italy. Okay, that's where he is with Nancy Pelosi. All right. So all he did was call Al Sharpton and said, "Hey, go down to Baltimore and represent me a little bit and speak up a little bit." That's all that was.
Thank you, sir. Somebody's phone. Somebody, please, you all. Did you guys hear that? We just lost the line.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes. Come quickly.
Why do we need Al Sharpton to come in and tell us this? Is it because they was afraid something going to break off?
If you'd like
so they
to,
Sharpton
please hang up and try again.
Al Sharpton, we are a community of activism and activists. Why do we need Al Sharpton and a bunch of these guys in suits like that owned by the Greater Baltimore Committee and the Able Foundation to come to West Baltimore?
I agree with you, but of course they need something to make it look more authentic and more official. David, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You got exactly 30 seconds, sir. Do your question or comment?
Comment. First of all, only thing that's happening in Baltimore is that it's giving President Trump the ammunition that he needs to try and win 2020. If the city had done what it was supposed to have done for the past at least 25 years, the city would not be in the shape that it's in. So he wouldn't have anything negative to even comment about. The problem is that this city is almost at 200 murders. You've got abandoned housing everywhere.
Lead pipes in the water systems.
Like that for years.
Yes, sir.
And all under Democratic control.
Yes.
And again, what this is doing is beefing up his base. It's making him stronger because all he has to do is say, "See, I told you." And as far as Al Sharpton is concerned, anybody who has lived in New York or has family in New York, him and Trump were tight back in the day.
Yes, they were.
So they both know each other. So really, as far as one calling the other a con artist, they're both like that. And you should have the Baltimore activists at these meetings. We don't need any outsiders. We need the people that's right here on the ground.
Well, listen to what Bubby just said.
Of the guest and host you here on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1.
All right, we got it. We got a disclaimer there because they're the gatekeepers and that.
Patrick, I put in all of this.
I'm sorry, what?
I see something afoot in all of this.
Which is quickly.
I don't know yet, but I don't like what I'm hearing.
Okay, all right. We're going to go to Steve on line 5. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir? Hey, Larry.
Comment. First, happy birthday, buddy. As a New Yorker, born and raised, that last was absolutely right about Al Sharpton. All right. Now, the other thing is this. Trump, did he lie? No. The way he said it was disrespectful. Yes. Now, as far as you allowed to come, it's time for us to have some new blood down here. I've been in Maryland for 16 years. I've seen nothing change, but only things getting worse. I've seen a lot of money that comes into the state, went into the wrong hands. Nothing goes back into the communities. So as them abandoned buildings that's around town and stuff, only thing that has been done has been getting worse. They don't want to fix them up. They don't want to sell them. They don't want to do anything.
Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Steve? They're holding them for regentrification?
Of course, just like they did in New York and Harlem. They're going to push this out. All
right, thank you so much. Listen, I got, the dean at this point in Baltimore, the eminent Larry Young, just walked in. He says that misinformation is being given out. Welcome, Larry. What do you have to say about all this?
Thank you so very much, Patrick. First of all, I'm just coming back from New Shallow.
Okay.
And Reverend Sharpton has been talking with our chapter along with some other local chapters in NACP and whatnot. This discussion was around housing, equity housing. He wanted to bring in some leaders to talk about how do we make sure the housing situation is going to be addressed. We're the first of about 10 cities. Bank of America is involved. And so that discussion was planned, had nothing to do with the mayor.
Okay.
Mayor wasn't even at the table. It was solely Bank of America, the former Secretary Kemp, whose son has taken over his organization, and Joe Kennedy, a housing specialist,
Really?
who had nothing to do with the mayor. That's number one. Number two, Sharpton's agenda was solely today to come to New Shallow to talk about housing and housing concerns that should be addressed economically. Now, when he was coming in, I knew this. So when Elijah came under attack by Trump, I said to him, would you join the show Monday morning and respond? Little did we know that yesterday Trump attacked Sharp. Well, Sharpton, thank you, Sharpton. And so he decided to come out and say what he had to say. And they had a press conference, and the folks were more interested in him and Trump's response than dealing with the issue. We were all there. Housing. And so
thank you for coming in.
I just want to be very clear, but he was not in here to deal with that. The press, of course, you had Trump and Sharpton in dispute, and on the air, you're going to probably see that. But nobody's asked, what were the other 50, 60 of us in their planning? Talking about, and we spent all of our time on housing.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
Trying to give us some money to make sure housing in Baltimore was going to be addressed.
Larry, what do you say about all this money that's come up missing over the years?
I got to tell you, I was listening to your show, riding in, so I don't know much about that. But if it is so, like the gentleman said, if Ms. Cummings knows there's a problem, find it, expose them, and tell it.
Yes, sir. Agree with you 100%. Thank you so much.
Hey, man, fine. Listening to your show coming on in, no doubt about it. As I should be.
Well, I don't miss yours. Thank you so much. Thank you. You be well. We're going to go to, that was Larry Young. You know, you can hear him every morning from 6 to 10 here on WOLB, where information is power. And we're getting some power up in here. Theodore, come quickly. We only got 3 minutes left. You got 30 seconds of it. What do you have to say, sir?
I believe people are doing something in their communities to help them. That's not sitting around. We can all criticize, and we can all do more.
Yes.
And I'd hope we don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I know who my enemy is. I listen to him on the right wing stations in this city, and I know who the enemy is who heads this country. And one thing I like to say, when they talk about Republicans and Democrats 30, 40 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. You got to, if you call back, I'll finish your call. James C. Morant. James, are you there? Hello? James? Oh, my God, I dropped the guy, and James is gone. Okay, we're going to go to Bubby. Well,
yes,
you see what what's going on. Go ahead.
When we protect people who hurt us, we're just as worse as the people that hurt us. We must expose what they're doing and the connections and the reason why they're doing what they're doing. Thank you, and God bless you, and I'm always available.
Well, thank you for the work that you do, man. I tell you what, I hope that the newspapers contact you. I hope that the idea this, because this is fresh doo-doo up in the city housing department, and there is every reason to find out, since it's so fresh, then they should be able to find out where that $300,000 went. Exactly. But whatever happened to the $22 million that came in after Freddie Gray?
We still asking the question, but if you look at the connection between Mad Jack Young and the Black Catholic Charity CEO, that's where the money went.
You think that's where the money? All right, thank you so much,
and Bubby. Real quick, give your information out. The community wants to know how to get in contact with you.
Yes, you can reach me at LuckyCrosbySR2@gmail.com, and my number is 443-435-2782.
Give it again.
Any issues, call me up.
One more time.
Your
number. Phone number.
443-435-2782.
Thank you so much, Bubby. We blessing you and pray God's protections over your life and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Richard?
Yes?
It's been quite a day. You only got a closing call. Say goodbye.
It's time to start looking at things very, very closely.
Yes.
And begin to decide, are you going to be on the side that says we're going to do right, or you're going to stay on the side, but I'm going to do what I do because I am one one party or another.
Yes, God bless you.
And family, let's keep the conversation going online. I see a lot of folks commenting online.
Yes. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. We hope we've been a help today. I know I certainly have. Thank you for all the words of encouragement. Y'all pray for me. You know I'm going through cancer right now, but things are coming good. I'm halfway through my treatment, so keep me in your prayers. And you have been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Join us next Monday at 11:30 and every Sunday on Spirit 1400. God bless. Have a great week.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV?
I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price?
You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code DEAL for a 20-cent gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 45 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code DEAL. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Download the free Get Upside app and use promo code DEAL. That's DEAL.
Talk in the day. Soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Or fronting. You know who I'm talking